I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the hills of Fayette County, where the coal dust touched the sky, there's a voice out in the valley with fire in his eyes. When the big shots hide in silence, then the truth gets pushed aside, and John Marietta plants his boots and stands there full of pride. He ain't polished, he ain't perfect, he may stumble now and then, but when that mountain voice starts rising, folks start listening again. The room gets still, the louder sweat, the good folks gather round. Then Hillbilly Jon starts talking, truth comes rolling down.
Hey everybody, this is John Marietta, and I'm the Hillbilly, and I want to thank you all for tuning into my podcast. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate all the views I'm getting. It's amazing, and I'm very humbled by all your response. Want to be a sponsor on my show? Please do get a hold of me at johnmarietta.com, Marietta Broadcasting Network. I want to thank everybody for helping. So let's get started. I want everybody to listen to this hillbilly for a minute while the spirit's moving in me. Butchie and all your faithful warriors who stood tall in this fight, keep your powder dry, my friend. The war ain't won by one battle. No, it's not. One election don't decide the whole war. The victory belongs to the man or woman who ain't afraid to stand back up when the dust settles and the count comes in wrong. It ain't about how many punches you take. It's about how many times you get knocked flat. Wipe the blood off your lip, stand back up, start swinging again. I want you to think about one thing. George Washington and them ragtag patriots at Valley Forge. They were half frozen, bellies empty, boots worn clean through. Looked like the whole cause was done for, but they didn't quit. They huddled around. They huddled around them little fires, sharpened their bayonets, patched their coats, and got back on their feet. And because they refused to stay down, freedom was born. And like I said, because they refused to stay down, freedom was born. The same fire is burning right here amongst us today. So let's turn it up a little bit. Let's throw another log on it. We got the Lord on our side. We got each other, and we got fight left in these bones. The enemy wants you discouraged. Tell him he picked the wrong bunch this time. We're going to stand back up, dust ourselves off, reload, and keep marching. Al, you keep that head high, that heart on fire. The best days for this movement aren't behind us, they're straight ahead. Keep your powder dry. Keep your knees bent in prayer. Keep your eyes on the prize. We ain't done yet, not by a long shot. Now let's raise the roof and make a little fire of our own right now. Who's all with me? Al, I got to meet you back in, I don't know, not March. It was probably November, 1st of December. And I could see that you had enough of fire in your bones to make this happen. Obviously, we had a very poor turnout. And it didn't help. It helped the incumbent out because the establishment gets out the vote and then the new people don't. We tried to change that message as hard as we could and as much as we could. I know you did. I know I did in Fayette County. And but I really want to thank you for what you did. You stood up, you took your swings, you even rode a bull. AI bull. But anyways, but he did, it's something to see people that when they get knocked down, but you have to get back up and you have to face this. I mean, you've been in business, and I can tell you, you've been in places where the track fell off and it's pouring rain, or just you're in 3 feet of snow and it's muddy, but somebody got to put the track back on, and that's what you're going to do. We're going to get us back on track.
For sure. I appreciate it. I appreciate you letting me podcast. it's a humbling experience for me. Just meeting all of the people. Uh, Everybody had a concern, an issue. Some were crying, some were praying for me at the roadside. All the new friends that I met. It's just humbling all the way around. Even though the numbers for the election, show that I lost, I gained so much in just respect for people. They need they need to have somebody to look up to, a real true leader, and hopefully my opponent will take that responsibility on seriously this time. I strongly believe that these people are just incredible. I've never had an experience like this before in my life. Ran for office before, but it was nothing like this. Complete strangers will come up to you and just hope with hope.
And you're right. You're right. I mean, I'll be walking down the street of Uniontown and somebody will come up to me
Yep.
and there was a girl come up to me just last week and gave me a big hug. She says, "Please don't stop." She says, "We need you to keep on doing what you're doing."
Yeah,
And it's humbling. I mean,
it is.
I mean, you almost tear up because
Yeah.
of it.
And I was, at our victory party that we had, everybody's like, "Are you down? Are you sad? Are you mad?" I'm like, "No, look what we've accomplished." I mean, we've made history with court rulings. I mean, that's case law. It's going to be forever in history books
Yep.
where they tried to sue me. Well, they did sue me 2 or 3 times. And that just goes to show that we were in the fight heavily and they were afraid or else they wouldn't have been doing it. But there was more than just the history books. I mean, I was endorsed by an incumbent House rep. That's never been done. That's historic in itself. And let's not forget about, I had a budget of 780,000. I came under that, and my opponent, he pretty much, I'm going to say, spent $350 a vote. I spent about 70. She's going to end up spending over $4 million on the campaign. $4 million. That's another historic thing. I don't think there's ever been that much money spent, on a campaign ever in history for a state Senate seat. So that makes you wonder, and that'll put that wonder in the back of people's minds from here to the end of time. I mean, why would somebody spend $4 million on a seat that only pays 100? I think she gets 129. So I'm really happy with what we did to come within 1,900 votes or whatever it is. Almost 50% of a 3-term incumbent that spent $4 million on this trailer park kid to beat. I'm pretty happy. And let me just elaborate. It goes to show you where this party's heading. My own party went against me, spent $250,000.
At least
Well, that we know of.
maybe
so far.
twice.
Yeah. And, that in itself speaks volumes to, how they're running the organization. And it's not good. Let's not forget how the Democrats ended up where they're at, going the same avenue as this is. So I'm not happy with them. They've tested a lot of people's loyalty, and we'll see where that goes as well. So,
Well, I'm looking at a lot of different things, and when you analyze numbers, and you can crunch numbers to make them fit however you want them to. I mean, you've been in business, and when you needed that extra $50,000 to buy a piece of equipment or something, make the bank look at different if
Right.
you're a good enough person.
Right.
I'm thinking that you did something. You came close. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You came more than close because take on an incumbent, an entrenched incumbent,
right.
with a lot of Democratic roots.
Green.
I mean, yeah,
Extreme.
and I'm sure that probably if we did a little digging, you'd find out that the DNC probably had pushed some money that way too. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no doubt about it. We know that this has turned out not the way we wanted it to, but you know what? I always feel like God's got a plan for everything, and maybe this is where we're at. Maybe
Yeah.
we have to just like I said, got to get back up and you got to try again.
You got to get back up. You can't back down. When I started my first business, I was only 20 years old. Most people don't know that. And it failed miserably. It didn't fail because I couldn't get the jobs, couldn't get the work. I couldn't do the work. That's not why it failed. It failed because of the way the system was set up, to where a young guy like me starting a business couldn't get the finances. So in construction, most people don't know, when you go to do a job, you don't get paid until 30 days. So you do 30 days worth of work, then you submit a bill, then you wait 30 more days. So you're 60 days out. And that's where, the SBA needs to be fixed. And that was one of my plans, to fix that. Just to spark these young companies into knowing, hey, we have some backing, our business plan's solid, and we can move forward because we know we have the SBA behind us that can help us out. I didn't have that. And the SBA at the time was impossible to get a loan. You need to be a lawyer.
I bet, yeah, you had to have a lawyer, you had to have an accountant.
It was insane. But I'm really happy. Like I said, I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I am just humbled how the people rallied around us. To get that close. Let's put it this way: dollar for dollar, even playing field, I win 10 out of 10 times. There's no doubt in my mind. Statistically speaking, you look at it, no doubt in my mind. It's just, it's tough to beat somebody when it's, they're outspending you 5-6 to 1. So, and that was part of if you remember, part of my platform is to reform our campaign finance laws. And it needs to be, because I just think there's just too much in the way that can be led into corruption down that avenue. My opponent was pretty much financed by, one, the Republican Party, two, some private donors, a lot of the Senate. They donated, I believe, a couple $100,000. And then her biggest one was the Win for PA, the Gambling Association. Those are the ones that gave her the most money. They gave her millions. So that being said, there's got to be something behind it. And I'm very fortunate. I had CAP, Citizen Alliance of Pennsylvania, and even National Citizens Alliance. That is an extremely good organization. They are, if you ever want to donate to an organization, please donate to that organization. They are so conservative, fiscally sound. They will not just take anybody on. They got to believe in you. You got to make them believe in you. And I was fortunate to have them with helping me, guiding me. It was like I said, again, it was just a humbling experience, this whole thing. So,
the timing, I believe you did. I believe you did everything you could. What rolls around in my mind is, you spent all that money. Now, what's the payback?
We'll see, right?
We got to watch to see what the payback.
Yeah,
because there's going to be something. There's going to be something. They're going to try to do it quietly.
Yeah,
but we'll be watching.
Well, everything that we put out was factual. We had people doing research left and right. We didn't want to, defame anybody or make any defamatory statements. Everything was
not so much the other way.
No, not so much the other way. And that's a story for another day.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. But to have all that money coming in like that. So we start researching why, who's involved, start connecting the dots. You got Win for PA. That's the organization for the gambling and the casinos and all the other stuff. And then you have, they were bought out by the Saudis. The Saudi Arabia owns them. And then there's 4.5% that's owned by BlackRock, and BlackRock is involved with data centers. And you could just go on and on and on. And, it all comes back, and people will see. Some people, it takes a little longer, but as you go on through time, people will realize, hey, I might have made I might have made a mistake. But you live and learn. That's the only way around it. So, and she's going to have her hands full this fall. Make no mistake about it, because unfortunately for us, the Democrats get out and vote. They get out and vote in numbers. We don't. And she'll have her hands full
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
one thing I will say, you got to give the Democrat Party credit. They stick together.
They stick together.
They stick together,
do.
and they're gonna, yeah, they're gonna. This is going to be interesting.
It will be interesting, and it'll even be interesting on Ben Humble's side as well. I know the girl he's going up against. She's very smart. His Democratic opponent, and he's going to have his hands full as well. People get turned off by a lot of the negative,
Oh, yeah.
the millions of dollars. I think we were estimating my opponent was spending $500,000 a week.
Well, last 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
$440,000 TV ads the last week alone. Not to mention all the flyers and stuff that went through.
I had a friend of mine that got that lives in Fayette County. I probably shouldn't say this because it's a mistake again, but live in Fayette County. They got 6 flyers from her in one day.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it.
And they got 6 from the other Senate candidate.
Right.
That actually isn't. Well, not 6. They got 3 from the other Senate candidate. And I don't know what it costs to put out a flyer.
Those flyers are expensive. You can get the half page ones. They're around $15,000 for 20,000, homes, residents. But when you get those big ones, they're $26,000. And then when you try to hit the whole district, you're looking at a lot of money. So we tracked it as best as we could, because we were just trying to see which way it was going, how much they were really going to spend on this to buy that seat. And basically, I didn't lose because of the effort. I just got outspent. And that's basically it. So,
Well,
it's tough.
But the whole idea is they want to make it so that nobody else will try to do it again because they see about how much money was.
This is true. This is true. And, an interesting thing, we've had people tracking the voter rolls, and now there's a lot of people changing back to Democrat the last 2 days. Strangely enough, right? Isn't that odd? So they changed the Republican, and then they voted, and now they changed back.
Yeah, we had that. We something like that in Fayette County. That happened in Fayette County over another race, and I thought that was cute.
Yeah. But like I said, I just had a very, very good, positive experience. I like running around. I like meeting people. It was like 11 months of just meeting so many people from so many different parts, like from Claysville, with their fair down there, which I really love that fair. All over the place, to Beaver County, Peters Township, Cannonsburg. Those people embraced me as if I was part of their family. I'm telling you, I have never had anything like that ever happen to me before. It was just incredible.
I know it's only been a couple of days,
Sure.
but I know you probably rolled it around in your mind because you're in business. What businessmen do? Businessmen, they try to figure out, what, if I'd have done it this way, I could have saved myself money. If there was one thing you would have changed, if you had something you would have done differently.
I don't know if I would have really done anything differently. we're very strategic with what we do. I don't know if I would have done anything differently. I knocked on, almost 10,000 doors myself. Our team did another 10. We knocked on almost 20,000 doors. And, so it wasn't lack of getting out there. It wasn't lack of town halls. I did more than anybody. I don't think anybody did as many town halls as me. We tried to do the debate, and, that just never happened. I just don't know. I don't think, other than, spreading false information, disinformation, and lies, I probably wouldn't have done anything else at all. I would have liked to have met more people if that's even possible in that amount of time. We were trying to estimate how many people we met from July when we started the fairs through the carnivals and the parades and everything. And it was like probably 40 to 50,000 people we actually met, had conversation with over that time. And that was the part that I liked, people. And hey, can you help me? This and that. I'm telling you, when I tell you people were praying for me alongside the road when I was knocking on doors, I'm not kidding you. I've had people pull up beside me. We thought they were, bad people. I mean, just fly up beside you at a red light or, swerve in the other lane, get out, come over, hug you, shake your hand. Thank you for doing this. Can't put a price or anything on that. I mean, it just makes you it's just incredible. Humble.
I got to attend a couple of different events. And everything was always first class. Really good. I really appreciate it. Getting invited to all these things. I think that sometimes we get ourselves in a situation, and I'm not saying that you did, but because I know you were in Peters Township and you were all these different places,
Right.
Cannonsburg and everything. But what happens is we get comfortable being around the same group of people, and sometimes we don't step outside that circle long
Right.
enough, talk to the different people, and we're all guilty of that.
Yep.
We are. I mean, like the fair, the Fayette County Fair and the Bullskin Fair over our way. I'm
Right.
really comfortable being there, and I will tell you that one of my opponents, he said, when I seen him at the fair, I realized that I wasn't. He said because the people were walking up to him, and he said they would went from one end of the building, and you had the
Right.
same thing.
Yeah, I did.
They'd be yelling at you. You
Yep.
know, hey, I mean, and
I tell you, when I was knocking on doors in Charleroi, I actually got frightened because there was people screaming, and I'm like, and my driver, he's looking around, because he's like, I'm like, what's going on? And they just wanted to see me.
well,
They wanted to see me. And a lot of these people never ever seen a senator, let alone a candidate, ever in their life. And I got to reconnect with a lot of the old bricklayers that I worked with when I was in the union, 15 years ago or whatever it was. And I mean, it was a really good experience.
the one thing that humbles you the most is this, and people. This happened to me today. I go into a sandwich shop.
Right.
The lady's name Ruth Ann. I probably met her before somewhere along the way. She come running up to me and give me a hug, and she says, "Don't you stop." She says, "We need to keep this movement going." She says, "I know you got disappointed," and I said, "Yeah." I said, "But," she says, "Don't you stop." She says, "We're behind you 100%." And she gives me a hug, and a lot of times, you don't know these people, where you're not recognizing. And I feel like you got to watch, because wives get upset.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually had a girl come up and give me a big kiss, not on the lips, on the cheek.
Oh, I know your wife. She's
my wife said,
she's a saint.
My wife said to me, she said, why not? She told her, she says, "If you kiss him, I don't have to then." but I know these things happen, and it's because we were in stock. We raised stock cars, and then, like I said, I got to see a lot of funny things there. And people get caught up in the moment.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's good.
what was the funniest thing that happened to you? Did you have any cute things happen to you? I told you what mine was.
Well, let's see. It's not funny, but it was funny, I guess, in a strange way. I jumped when I was knocking on doors, when I jumped over the snow pile, and I cracked my head and had to go get surgery on my eye 3 times, and I went blind in my right eye. So I have that to take away from this. It's just there was some bloopers here and there. You know what I mean?
There always is.
Yeah, I mean, there was, I lost my list one time, and I started knocking on doors. Well, unfortunately for me, it was like the whole neighborhood was Democrat. I'm like, we're in the wrong neighborhood.
I did the same thing in Bell Vernon. I think it was Bell Vernon. Half one side of the street is Fayette County. The other side of the street is Westmoreland, I believe, or Washington. I forget now. But anyways, it's funny because I'm knocking on all these doors, and then finally I get to the end of the street, and this lady comes out and she says, "I would vote for you no matter what." She says, "You're the only person that came to the wrong county to get votes." And I said, "Well, you probably still can with the write-in ballot, mail-in ballots." And she laughed. She thought it was the funniest thing.
I just hope, all kidding aside, that if there was ever a time that somebody would steal something from me, it would be this time that my opponent, the senator, would take 4 things from me, steal them, take them, get rid of the property tax, the death tax, take the money from the casinos and do what it was made for, put it towards reducing the taxes for the senior citizens. Do that, do the death tax, get rid of it, start that apprenticeship program in 10th grade, consolidate these schools with low census. Right there, you're going to save billions of dollars. You're going to help millions of people in this state. You're going to help the youth. You're helping the elderly. It is a foolproof plan. Do those 4 things. I hope she steals them. I hope they do it. And I just really think that would make the world to this, not just this area, that would help the state, because that would stop the bleeding of our population. So.
Well, we know that we're in a decline, no doubt about it, and it's bad. Decline. And one of the things that I look at is we need to reduce the size and footprint of our government.
Yep.
When I'm saying that, I'm not telling you we need to lay people off. We need to work more efficiently with other things.
Yeah. You got to get rid of the redundancy in there. You have to get rid of, I mean, the nepotism. I mean, it's everywhere. It really is. So you have to get rid of that. I mean, there's a lot of things we could do to save money, to get that gas tax. And I'll just do the 5th thing. Cut the gas tax down to where it's comparable to the other states. And you'll bring back that 2.7 billion gallons into this state of fuel that we're losing to the other states. And you will gain more money.
See, that's what
you will gain more money.
You will.
With the volume.
And that's what I've said. I said, if we would reduce our taxes, you would get, because everybody that lives on a border, close to the border, is buying gas on the other side.
Everybody. Not just West Virginia, it's Maryland. It's everywhere around us.
I think Ohio is cheaper than us too.
Yeah, it is. Ohio.
Now, I don't know. I probably not the New York border, because
their tax is only 8 cents.
Yeah, but
yeah.
But
I mean, realistically, so you got 5 things you could steal from me. Steal them, please. Implement them, push for them, lobby for them. You will be the best senator ever if you can achieve those 5 things. And that was my goal. So, unfortunately, like you said, God has a plan. So we'll see what happens next.
Back to business.
Back to business. Up at 5 o'clock this morning, worked out. Haven't done that in 7 months. Almost hurt myself, but got back in here to the office and started doing estimates and going through numbers and doing what I do. So, guys are happy to see me back.
I bet they are.
Not really.
No.
But
now
they had a peace and quiet while I was gone.
Well, now you can track the fuel bills a little
closer.
Yeah. But and the credit card.
I have great people. I do. I just been blessed. Business is tough. You have fights with family. You have fights with, it's not physical fights. You know what I mean? It's personality conflicts and stuff like that. This one thinks that, this one thinks that. But, after it's all said and done, when everybody goes to the bank on Friday, they're happy.
I have a good friend of mine that's in steel fabricating business. He's in Denver, and when you get hired with him, he tells you you get 2 weeks vacation. That's all you're getting. he says, but you're done on Thursday at 4:00
Right.
every week. He said that's how we do that. If you want to work overtime, that's up to you. But
Right.
that's how he does. And I tell you what, when you walk in his shop, there's 20 guys works in there, and he flies them. He tells them they only get 2 weeks vacation, but he takes everybody to Alaska every year for a big fishing trip. And
Right.
and they go up there, and it's funny because he takes. I said, do you only give your employees 2 weeks vacation? He said, yeah, but it's my business. I said, but you take 2 weeks and go to Alaska because you take half of them at a time to Alaska with
Well,
you.
I got to be honest. I did the same thing. I bought my home in Florida, and so me and my brother, we would take, a few of our workers and a client, and this was like every 2 weeks, and this went on for a couple of years, and we just got burnt out on it. I haven't been to my house in 2 years, and I was just like, and the people down there. That's another thing. I don't know what it is with me and my family and everybody, but those people in Florida, it was almost like the same as Cannonsburg. They're like part of your family. So I've had very good luck, I think, with just making friends. I guess just honesty is what it has to be. So.
I have. We used to go. I would go down to Florida for just about 2 weeks every year, and we go down to Tampa, close to Tampa. There was a racetrack down there, and we would go there and we'd watch the races that week, and then back up to Speed Weeks, Daytona,
right?
And then, but I enjoy Florida. I mean, there's parts,
I like it in the wintertime.
There's parts of it I don't care for. I mean,
I want to go there in the summertime.
I'm not an Orlando person.
No.
I will tell you that.
Me
I'm more of a St. Augustine type of guy.
Yeah.
And I think that every once in a while you have to get recharged. You have to do things, and I've been blessed because I've been in every state but 2.
Yeah. Wow.
And I've been blessed. And the 2 that I haven't been in, I tell everybody is Idaho and Oregon. And the only reason I got to Washington because I had to fly into Washington one time and I had to spend a day there. But anyways,
That's awesome.
So think you do it again?
I'm going to have to take the 5th.
Yeah.
I'm going to plead the 5th Amendment on that. So we'll see. Time will tell. Like I said, if she does those 5 things,
You won't have to.
there's no reason for me to have to do anything.
Yeah.
There's Senator Bartolotta, there's the constituents, there's me, right where I should be, right in between them. We'll see.
Find out.
We'll find out.
Yeah. It's the next chapter.
I appreciate your show. I'm happy for you that it's picking up. You're really getting good ratings and everything. So a lot of people are talking about it, and
Well,
it's
one
an
of
honor being on here.
I really have. You stepped out. You helped us out with some things and got some things going, and I'm sure that's we're going to be able to work together
Sure.
going forward. One of the things that I found out, you can't be bitter about it at all.
No.
I mean, you can't.
No.
You can't let yourself become bitter.
I was asked this question so many times over the last couple of days, and they're like, you're not mad, you're not sad. I said, listen, I work so hard. I do, $1 million bids, multi-million dollar bids, take me a month to do them, put all that work in. Then you go bid day, and then all of a sudden you get beat by $50,000 or $10,000. I've been beat by like $10 one time on a multi-million dollar bid. And you just become, I just don't have that gene for that emotional, I'm disconnected from that. I don't have that gene, I guess you want to say, for that kind of feelings, if I did, I wouldn't probably be in business. You know what I mean? Get too emotionally tied up to it, but it doesn't, I'm not bitter at all. I'm really happy, to be honest with you. I just, like I said, to meet all those people like that and just have them talk to you about their personal lives and believe in you. I think that gets, lost in translation along the way
It,
through
it,
these
it does.
elections.
It does.
I'm just humbled to be blessed with that opportunity.
Well, I'll tell you what, I really appreciate what you've done for
Sure.
state of Pennsylvania, Greene County, Washington County, Beaver County. Uh, I looked one Greene County. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you do in Beaver? I didn't.
I honestly haven't looked. I
Okay.
just go with what they tell me. I heard I won Greene County, but also won most of the Mon Valley too, and a bunch in Peters. Like I said, it was a dollar for dollar, even playing field financially. 10 out of 10. That's my race.
Yeah. Well, we know that isn't the way it works.
No,
Not at all.
no. But
Uh,
again, I'm not bitter. I'm happy I got to meet all those people. I got to talk to so many people. That's the best takeaway I got. I was able to give them hope.
we're gonna see you down at the whiskey festival.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't drink, but I'll be down there.
Yeah,
That's a big deal.
it is. I
yeah,
think. I think that is a big
yeah.
deal.
The people in Washington County, man, they just like gravitated to me, for some reason. And I got to be friends with a lot of people. I mean, so many people. I got 10,000 more new friends. That's how I look at it. So good.
Hey, Al, thanks again for what you did. We
Appreciate
appreciate it, and we're gonna sign off right now. This is. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And like I said, if you want to be part of this podcast situation, get a hold of me. There's lots of ways to do that. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. I am John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.